Welcome back to the Acro Flame Yoga channel, y'all. This is here, Acro Flame. Y'all can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm updating another iPhone storage acro compilation kind of thing. This is just some old footage that I came across on the iPhone and wanted to upload it just to document it, really. So we're gonna kind of take a look at some things here. Looks like we were getting in some nice little hand-to-hands here, as y'all can see. So fun stuff here. That is actually me flying. So I really don't fly hand-to-hands too often, but you know, I think this is Acro Hulk, who is basing me. It's really strong base. He does cheer coaching, and I think he used to be a professional cheer as well. So pretty easy to get upside down in a hand-to-hand with him, but we had a nice group of us out here all doing hand-to-hands together, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, good stuff. And here working on some Catherine's wheel, and I think a little bit of a 2x motion too, as you can see. So Catherine's wheel to a hand-to-hand, or to a foot-to-hand, sorry. So fun stuff. But yeah, since we can't really practice right now, it's kind of unfortunate, but I think it's, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how we all come back through this too, just as an acro community, and how, you know, we stay sanitized with each other, you know, bring, I guess, the hand sanitizer and stuff too. But I know I've been lacking quite a bit of practice here lately. Still trying to do at-home workouts for the most part, but you know, all the gyms are closed and everything, so it's kind of tough to stay fit to a certain extent. But you know, I know that I'd want to come out of this with at least like a decent halfway dedicated handstand. So here I'm working on sit and spin. Sit and spin is like a variation of Big Lemoy and ballerina. It's basically ballerina, but on each side of the hip. So simply just rotating from one end to the other is like a sit and spin variation. So me and Sarah had been trying to get this down. I think this was our first time to actually practice sit and spin, and maybe even ballerina. I'm not sure what we go through next, but this is a ballerina variation right here, and then she rotates all the way back around. So what needs to happen is her body needs to stay up a little bit straighter, and then once my foot's over there, then she has to crunch and bring that foot all the way back around to sit back up on top of it. So it's kind of a hard one to accomplish, but you know, with some practice, it's definitely, you can succeed through it. So I think we're about to do the same thing here. This was a couple of days, I think, after we had already practiced it that first time, and kind of cleaning it up here for the most part. So this is, yeah, sit and spin from one side to the other hip. A little shaky there, but that happens whenever you know, and we were still pretty new at this too, together, and kind of calibrating through it for the most part. Still trying to work through some things as well. So yeah, if y'all want, y'all can still follow me on Instagram. The link's down in the description box if y'all want to check that out as well. You know, as long, and also with the other links there too. I did to move towards TikTok, so starting to upload some content on there as well. Right now it's just pretty much me and the daughter kind of doing things and some acro related stuff. So you know, but I would like to grow on there a little bit more. So if y'all are on TikTok, I'll leave the link to the TikTok down in the description box below if y'all want to follow me on there and help support that as well. That would be awesome. It'd be great. But yeah, practicing some sit and spins here. Kind of shaky going through it. Oop, yeah. So, but you know, just trying to do our best since we really weren't that calibrated on it beforehand either. So it's a fun move though. You know, that we've done some variations with the group. We actually did one kind of like an acro, like flash mob, kind of just in a synchronized acro flow with me and 2 other partners as well. But we did like a sit and spin, ballerina. Here's a fun one, squirrel pop, but I don't get this one down. This one's pretty hard. Squirrel pops are not easy either. So that was an attempt at a squirrel pop. But yeah, I think it's really cool to see the synchronized flows, and I think some of the community has already talked about once we come back from this, we want to do like an acro flash mob somewhere, which would be pretty cool. Now this was pretty crazy. The base Mark and John spotting here, but this was quite fun to do. I suck at bicep stands and crocs, and I was trying to attempt a croc here, and I honestly am not good at crocs whatsoever, so it was a struggle. But I forget what move exactly that was. It was something that I think Mark Kung Fu Master had, or Kung Fu Hamster, I think that's an acro name. He does through. It's a fun casual practice here at our gymnastics gym that we meet up at occasionally. But fun stuff. Practicing here with Nina, fun times. And but yeah, I think doing synchronicity flows are really freaking cool. So I'll upload some of those synchronicity flows once I find them on the phone as well too. And have to remember to timestamp a lot of these videos. So I'll get around to timestamping the video before this as well. So that way y'all can kind of browse through it and see, and go straight to the point, or straight to what y'all are looking for it at too. Here practicing a 2 high and some very low ceilings. Probably shouldn't be practicing 2 highs up here, but it is what it is. I think the ceilings were pretty high enough anyways for me to feel safe. So Ribbons being the base here, and doing a bunch of funky things. Really good bass though too. I'm up there praying for my life right now. But still really steady. It's just it's scary being up on someone's shoulders sometimes too. So I've been doing this with my daughter a lot lately too, and she enjoys it. And then kind of hopping down from there is fun. So yeah, getting some more spots here. There's Max helping me down, I think. So fun stuff, fun times. I think this was when Max and Liz were still actually teaching at Black Swan too, because I think that's Max over there. So fun stuff. But I think I hop off here in a little bit, but definitely good times. Here doing some one-on-one practice with a friend. So I think she was actually wanting to learn a little bit more about basing too. So I was walking through some basing techniques with her for a little bit, trying to get her pretty kind of stable in those as best as possible. You know, if it's really, I mean, basing's hard. Basing is not easy. When you first start out basing, I remember how horrible I was, and couldn't get my legs straight, and those little small stability muscles were the hardest things to work out sometimes, and just to stay steady even when moving from one foot to one foot, because even like the most simplest thing like this throne variation right here is not easy, especially even going from bird to throne and then to easy throne to high flying whale. One thing I encourage beginners is to really run through bird to throne, or from bird to straddle throne to easy throne to high flying whale. And if you can do those at least back and forth at least 4 different times and following through with the transitions each and every single time too as well, then I would say that you're probably you're definitely creating a little bit more progression for yourself, but also stamina and endurance, because it's not easy. I remember when I first was starting to learn those first 4 transitions and those first 4 moves, it was relatively difficult and pretty hard, to be honest. So what I'd like to tell beginner bases is to at least run through those 4 transitions 4 different times, you know, back and forth each time without stopping, making sure you're coordinated, making sure you feel stable enough to then progress to like the single leg variations, such as like the side stars and the single leg presses and stuff like that. So but I think I'm gonna get upside down here in a little bit. This is also one of the other variations that's probably a little bit more arm intensive. It's just arm stability muscles, more or less. Your arms really don't have to, they're not going to be bending at all. They're already locked out for the most part. So But I'm still going over some thrown variations here, just a little bit of technique to help guide the base along the way, right? I really don't mind flying at all. I mean, it's not really my preferred type of acro to be flying, but at the same time, like if I can train other bases, and that was one of the main components too about being at jams and stuff, if I can train another base, because I think our community is mostly flyer heavy in general, it's just so I didn't have a problem teaching other bases. It was just making sure I could teach them on my own time pretty much, unless I was getting compensated some way for a workshop or something. Then I would help them out whenever I could, at least at the jams, without taking away from my time, right? So yeah, and I think that I was going forward before the whole pandemic occurred to get my yoga certification, and that was the goal, but that has kind of been set back for right now. And with that yoga certification, the 200-hour YTT, I was planning to teach acro, teach some workshops here and there, but because that has been put on hold right now, I'm kind of just hanging out, doing my own routines at home, my own workout routines, my own stretching routines, and variations of at least what I can accomplish while here in the house, with that being the only accessible gym to me, at least right now. So I have my pull-up bar, I have my foam rollers, I have at least like a 10-pound set of weights, which is nothing really, to be honest, but I can practice my handstands. So I'm really begging myself strongly to get out of, once this is all said and done with, to have a really strong handstand practice. And so I'm really trying to dedicate myself and my time to getting the handstands variations, working my warm-ups to that, working the core out enough to be able to hold those handstands. And what I did today was I actually did a lot of wrist warm-ups. Ruben, who was also basing me in that 2 high, is very, very good at handstands, and so I've taken his workshops before as well. And one thing that he stresses a lot is to warm up the wrists. You want to at least make sure that your wrists are really, really warmed up before you attempt to go upside down. And then also what I did was warmed up the core really well as well, and that also just helps hold the balance while you're upside down. So here I was attempting to do a candlestick variation, but I honestly was really scared that I'd fall on top of her face, so I did not want to attempt it all the way for fully. But it is possible. You just have to, like, she's pretty small anyway, so she didn't have a lot of reach there either, and I just felt like I was going to come down on top of her. So here also Josh, Acro Hulk, is basing me in a hand-to-hand. Kind of nervous at first. I really don't go upside down a lot, so I just kind of have to be more committed to getting the hips up and over. Here struggling still to get up and over. And I think on this last one I finally got it. I think we went for the push for the extended hand-to-hand, but I don't think we quite got it just yet. But very impressive. Josh is so strong when it comes to this stuff, and makes it feel so easy. So there kind of came down a little awkwardly, but no big deal. Here working on some more one-on-one practice with my good friend Nina here as well. Let's see what we run through. I'm not 100% sure what all we went through here. A lot of this is just up on the spot. A lot of the, sometimes we like to come to the jams with something in mind that we want to work on. If I know someone that I haven't played with, or that I have played with, is going to be there, and I know that they know a certain move, then I'll go ahead and prepare myself to practice that move. But most of the time it's just on the fly. Hey, you know how to do this move? Okay, let's run through that. Can I teach you something new? Sure, why not? Nina kind of got scared there, I guess, and came out of the straddle positioning. So here, just kind of doing a nice little stretch out. One therapeutic move is to grab behind the head here, behind the head of the base, and then I push down on their shoulder blades, and that feels really good too for them as well. So here, just doing some nice bird calibrations. So I've been thinking about actually getting an editor for these videos, and I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work out, but I would like to clean these videos up a little bit more. So as soon as I start to get a few more funds back in the pocket, then maybe I'll hire an editor to start to edit some of these acro videos for y'all, and it'll just be a little bit more inclusive and engaging content for y'all to follow along with. So little slips like that happen every once in a while. We just try to make sure that you know, at least with being at a gymnastics gym, everything's pretty padded there, so we don't have to worry too much about us messing up catastrophically for the most part. So here we're doing one of our last group poses, and it's looking pretty. So this was a pretty cool group stack or pyramid stack that we like to do sometimes too as well. And as y'all saw in the last video too, that was another pyramid stack. So having a lot of fun here as usual. Very cool stuff. So I think this one came out really well.